Hey BookTube, this is Juan from Just One Reader. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the second part of my Chicago book haul. The first part of this book haul was all about literary fiction and some classics, and this video is going to be about short story collections and some anthologies as well. So I guess I should give you a little bit of my history and my history with short stories particularly. I've always been into novels. I have never really been the type of person that usually seeks short story collections necessarily, although looking back on my reading history, when I was about 12 or 13, I read one of the best books I've read in my life, and unfortunately it's a short story collection that is not available in English. It is a short story collection by Michael Ende, who wrote The Neverending Story, which is my favorite book, by the way. And it's a collection of short stories that are completely fantastic and surreal. In Spanish, there is a translation available, which is really sad that there is no current translation in English, or maybe there is, I'm just not aware of it. I'm not sure how the title is in German. In Spanish, it's La Prisión de la Libertad, which would be something along the lines of the Prison of Freedom. So that collection just blew me away, and I read it, and immediately I knew this was just a format that I really enjoyed. So that was like kind of my first one, and ever since I've played with the format of short stories, but I haven't ever really been a person who actively looks out for short story collections. But this year in particular, this year and last year, I've read a lot more short stories, and for example, Woody Allen, of course, Kelly Link, Stephen King. Those are writers that have completely just blown me out of the park with their short stories, and I've enjoyed them more than many novels. So I'm going to become a short story collection reader from now on, and I'm going to actively try more short story collections. So in this book haul, I have a lot of them, so bear with me. The first one I have is Portable Childhoods by Ellen Collages. This has an introduction by Neil Gaiman. This is very magical, and it says, Portable Childhoods offers a tantalizing glimpse of what lies hidden just beyond the ordinary. Described by reviewers as timeless, delightful, chilling, and beautiful, this is short fiction at its best, emerging from a distinctive, powerful voice. Then I have one that I've seen in some channels, not so much US booktubers, but more British booktubers, and it is The Last Animal by Abby Jinnai, and this has a lot to do with the themes of like natural life, animals. I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be like very magical as well. Then I have one that I picked up at the independent bookstore Open Books in Chicago, which was fantastic, and this one was only like, this was very cheap, and it's a brand new hardback, and it comes with, oh sorry, it's not Open Books, it's St. Meyer's bookstore in Chicago, and it was a great little place, and it's The Czar of Love and Techno by Anthony Marra. I thought this was a novel, but it turns out it's a short story collection, and it has its own St. Meyer's bookstore bookmark. Then I got George Saunders' collection in Persuasion Nation. I'm going to read The 10th of December, which is his newest collection this year, probably in the summer, and I saw this one and I just had to pick it up. Okay, next I have What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours by Helen Oyeyemi. This one has gotten mixed reviews. Some people have been very disappointed by it, but some people have actually really loved it. So I saw it, the cover is really striking. I was there, you know, I had it. I couldn't not pick it up. So, yeah. Next I have a collection by Chuck Palahniuk, and this is Make Something Up, Stories You Can't Unread. That says it all. When an author tells me you cannot unread this, I'm sold. And yeah, this has a lot of stories and little things here. And Chuck Palahniuk is an author that I am so looking forward to reading more of his work. Ever since I read Fight Club, I've sort of had this weird fixation with not just Fight Club, but just the persona of Chuck Palahniuk and his work. So yeah, some short story collections. Then I have a collection of 3 novellas, and this is called There Once Lived a Mother Who Loved Her Children Until They Moved Back In. This is 3 novellas about family by Ludmila Petrushevskaya, translated by Anna Summers. Not really sure what to expect, but I know she is kind of fairy tale influenced. Talking about fairy tales and magic, I have The Wiles by Julia Elliott. This is the collection by the woman who created the new and improved Romy Fudge. I saw it. I saw Julia Elliott. I picked it up immediately. They seem really cool. The cover is just so powerful and beautiful and striking, and I'm really looking forward to pick this one up. Next is a short story collection by an author that I read. I discovered last year, and I completely fell in love with her. And I've only read one of her novels, and this is one of her short story collections, which I've heard is pretty damn good, and it is Alice Smith's The Whole Story and Other Stories. This is one of her shorter collections, and yeah, she just has such a unique voice and such a playful writing style. I'm really looking forward to more of her work. Then I have one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful book that I got in Chicago, which is an anthology by, it's an anthology called Ghostly, and it's really, really beautiful, the edition. It's just a very beautifully packaged book, and it's an anthology of ghost stories edited by Audrey Niffenegger, and it includes stories by authors such as P.G. Wodehouse, Neil Gaiman, A.S. Byatt, Kelly Link, Saki, Audrey Niffenegger, Edgar Allan Poe. So, yeah. And this is just so beautiful. I couldn't let go of it. Alright, I have 2 more. This is 10 Tales, Tall and True by Alasdair Gray. I had never really heard of this, but he wrote the novel Poor Things, which I also got, but I will mention it in another video. And Jen Campbell actually really recommends this author and that novel, Poor Things. And so I was in Open Books, this amazing independent bookstore in Chicago, and I saw they had this books, and this was like $5, and it's like a beautiful old edition, and it's so pretty, in and out. And it says social realism, sexual comedy, science fiction, and satire, and that's really all there is to it. I don't really know anything about it, but it just sounds really cool. And the last one that I have in this video is an anthology by an author that I have so wanted to read for the longest time, but I never really knew, I still don't know, where to start with. He's one of those authors that, he has such a huge body of work, such a huge canon, that you never really know where to start. So I picked up this anthology, and I'm just going to go with it. And it's, the author is P.G. Wodehouse, and this anthology is called Just Enough Jeeves. This includes, I think, 2 novels and a short story collection or something along those lines, or 2 novellas and a short story collection. I'm not sure. I think it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter in the order in which you read his stories. They're kind of like little standalones. But yeah, this just sounds like amazing. And I'm just going to read a little bit of the back for you, the synopsis. It says, Bertram Wilberforce Bertie Wooster is an amiable young man with more money than brains and no professional ambitions. He spends his days lunching at the Drones Club, enlarging his wardrobe with items of questionable sartorial taste, and inevitably getting caught up in some foolishness of his own devising. Jeeves, his gentleman's gentleman, is a deep thinker, a man equally adept at producing the perfect omelette or quoting Shakespeare. he is in charge of running the household and, of course, rescuing Birdie from embarrassing predicaments. So this just sounds like everything that I want. If you know me, you know that I adore Englishness and British things in general. I adore the whole idea of England, and I just love it when I've visited England and particularly London. I just adore the culture and the feel that everything has over there, and of course I love experiencing that culture in history through many different media, such as, you know, TV shows like Downton Abbey or movies, and it's just something that I really adore. And this seems like satirical, funny, comedic, and very classy English literature. And P.G. Wodehouse is apparently a very important author, and it says that he became an American citizen and he published more than 90 books. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. And that's it, guys. That was my Chicago book haul section of what was this, short story collections and anthologies. Keep track of my next video because it's probably going to be fantasy, thrillers, that kind of thing. There's also some middle grade coming up, so stay tuned and I will see you in that next video.